AI for the creative industries, the impact on film, TV, and cinema.
So I'm joined on this stage by a fantastic crew of Camelot Media. Matt Hookings, actor, producer, founder of Camelot Films, joined by Jay and Luke from Camelot Media. So I am very excited and particularly passionate about this topic because I come from the creative industry as well. I get to discuss how AI is already probably taking our jobs, from the creative writing point of view. And we're going to touch upon that after the presentations that you will show us today. So Matt, the floor is yours. Please tell us about yourself. Please tell us about the project that you will be presenting today. And then we jump to the AI part.
Sure. It's great to be here, guys. So yeah, I'm presenting a project today called The Lost Book of Creation, which is our next film that we're developing. And right now we are using lots of AI tools and resources to help put together the package and put together the film, which then raises the finance and we go into production. So what you're going to see is a pre-development stage where we are building the props, the set design, the storyboards, production design, and you can visually see and come to life. And we're building it all in AI. So yeah, I'll show you. Do I just press this?
Yes, just press.
Okay, so what you're going to see is this has all been built in AI. We've used lots of different platforms. We've used lots of different technologies, from DALL-E to MidJourney to storyboard.ai. And really, it's to show you we're still going to use a lot of humans to create this work. This doesn't eradicate, human work. But what it does is it allows us to get ahead and start building the project before we go to the next stage.
May I interrupt you for a second, just to give everyone a heads up. So Matt is producing an actual movie,
yes,
which is partially developed by AI. Isn't it amazing? It's an adventurous movie, which is going to be filmed in Malta, right?
Yes, yeah. So I've made I've made 3 films in Malta since 2019. We relocated our business here. The film industry in Malta is booming. Apart from gaming and real estate, film is the next biggest thing. So there's a lot of stuff happening here. And this whole project is being filmed in Malta. So I'll run through it very quickly just to give you an idea of the costume design, the look of the characters, even the text is AI, which obviously you can prompt very well, all the way through to the other existing characters, are main protagonist and an antagonist, and then the props. So this is one of our map artifacts building. The film is like Indiana Jones meets National Treasure, to give you an idea of the lay of the land and the scope. So we're using a lot of references from Da Vinci. It's very scientific in that sense. I'm building loads of elements of... This was used in AI in DALL-E and MidJourney. Gemstones. And then this is the book. This is like the actual signature piece, because this is the end of the film, which is a bit of a reveal, but this is our book.
So all of these images are actually created by AI tools, right?
Yes, yeah. And usually, just to give you some idea, usually you'd have a team of people. You'd have, anywhere from 5 to 10 people working on the art directory, the set design. They'd be building, writing, drawing, all these different concepts. And it would take probably the best part of a couple of months to build, and it'd cost a lot of money. Everything you're seeing right now was probably done in the space of 2 weeks. And it was done between 2 to 3 people. So it's it's showing you the advantages of using AI in terms of the creative industries. I mean, look at the visuals are incredible. This is the Atlantis, which is featured in the film. This is the Lost Book and the actual end temple. And then this is really impressive. So storyboarding a film is a lot of time. You literally have to draw every single shot. I've storyboarded all my films. It takes 2 to 3 artists, a couple of months of work, spend a lot of money, and yet this is storyboarding the film in a very unique way, not just the drawings, but putting together the scenes, the shots, and explaining what's happening. And this was used with a AI software called Storyboard.ai. But again, very detailed, and it doesn't get it right all the time, so you can change it and tweak it and sort of readjust the prompts in that sense. But really helps you set the scene of your project before you move into pre-production, before you move into production. I'll let Luke talk a little bit about the actual elements of, which softwares we've used.
Do you want to put one of the slides back so that we can actually see and, oh, this is beautiful. So that we have an actual AI background.
AI background.
Yeah, so when Matt came to me with this project, we spoke about and looked at research films in terms of how we wanted to look, right? And then we went through into MidJourney, into other AI softwares, like Storyboard.ai, and looked at and really prompted AI to be able to come up with these visuals, right? And, this was something that we were able to turn around, like Matt said, in days rather than months with a very, very small amount of cost. And it was just going through and prompting it correctly and spending the time, and we were able to generate such amazing results.
So it's a big, work optimization, workforce, manpower, right? Plus costs. It takes down cost. Are you aware, is it the first example of such AI usage, or has it ever been used in the film industry before?
I mean, the strike has just ended, and there was a lot of AI, negatives and positives that were put forward. And, AI hopefully won't replace actors. I still act, so hopefully it won't replace me. But I think this is one of the first times you're going to see a project being built. We've got 2 stars attached, like 2 A-list stars attached to this. So this is the first time that I'm seeing where it's actually being presented and used and developed in that sense. Because, we're a small independent, boutique production company. The studios don't necessarily have to do this because they have the money, the time, and they can just scale it out. Whereas for us, it's helping us, really become efficient and speed along the process and get to where we need to quicker, especially if you've got a cast that have certain dates and different things that have to move at the right time. So it's incredibly useful, and I think we're going to continue to use it. But I think it's good to, it's worth noting that all these AI softwares that are coming out, there's a team of people behind it. So it's not everyone thinks it's going to kill every job. And it's not, because there's 100,000 people behind it, coding it and building it and developing the technology and create all these different...
You have to teach AI first to get the job done. Exactly. How's it been for you?
Yeah. I mean, there's no question that AI has made an exceptional impact in the way we perform specific tasks in the film industry and the creative industry. But it's phenomenal that, us as film producers, most of our jobs is kind of mundane and trivial, scouting for the best art director and the set designers. So the way we've used AI in film is like Matt said, predominantly in using it for pitch decks and mood boards. So it's definitely like sped up, efficiency and time, and that's where we've made a huge saving. But the question we really need to ask ourselves is, how do we continue to use AI, but not remove creative people? So that's...
Exactly. We're getting to the point.
Yeah.
Where is this? So I get it. We've been using ChatGPT, I don't know, for emails, for mere texts, but I'm a journalist. I do creative writing. I do lots of copywriting. I work with different companies. This is a very particular skill, like human skill, right? That has been on demand for ages. Let's put it this way, right? Now, you can write an essay using AI bot. You can write an article, and most probably a regular person would never tell if it's written by an AI bot or by me, right? So But then again, it's still very useful in some routine everyday tasks. But I have to be honest, as a creative worker myself, I'm very opposed to using AI in, like, let's say screenwriting, right? Or some very particular creative missions or creative tasks. To which extent can we go?
Well, so this project has I've wrote the project, it's 110 pages. And there's just no way that I could have written that in AI. It doesn't have that human element. And I'm setting this visual story that comes from my brain has spontaneous moments. Some of the scenes are planned, some of them are not. So I think using it on the creative writing, I don't think it's going to replace that. AI it's not going to replace humans. It's just going to be run by humans, right?
Helping a little bit, just helping a little bit.
And helping, yeah. So there was no way that I was able to write this script using AI. But then once the script is written, what I was able to do is take the elements that I've wrote on page and put together this, which it does help. So you've just got to find the right ways that it does help and use those, and it's not going to replace everything. It just, it's not. There's too much creativity that goes on in our brain that,
We spoke about Michael Bay quoting the usage of AI tools, that it will eventually create a lot of lazy people, right? Well, there'll be more lazy people in the creative industry. So, I mean, where is this border? Do we use it only for some, tasks, some routine stuff, other than, creative writing? Because I know I can speak for, let's say, writers, right? Journalists. What about the film industry? What about the media? What about the marketing?
I mean, for me, I think it will create lazy people, yeah. But it depends, if you can get your work done within 3 hours in a day using AI versus someone that's doing it for 12 hours a day, it depends what shift you think. I don't know what you think, but
I mean, this is always my opinion when it comes to AI, right? Like, yes, this is stunning, this is beautiful work, but I always think human intuition and human creativity will always shine through. As we become more accustomed and desensitized to AI technology and what it can do, we're going to become to go back and appreciate what we as humans can actually create and envision and create ourselves. So that is kind of where I think that duality between AI and human creativity can kind of shine through. Yes, this was created in AI, but it required human creativity and intuition to come up with it and to accompany it, and for us to sit down, prompt it correctly.
And you can follow on with that. So, this image here being created in AI, I could have hired a team of people to create what you deem as a temple, and they could have never got anywhere near this. They could have created something completely different. So I take this now and then go back to the human and use that to go to someone and say, hey, can you make me this, or design me this, or build me this, and what it takes to build that. So maybe you have to be creative in the creative AI industry and just keep going back and forth. AI, human, AI, human.
Speaking of, which tools you prefer for AI usage?
I think at the moment, MidJourney is really doing a lot of great stuff. I mean, it's what I've found to be the most user-friendly, the most versatile for creating images such as this, right? But it's an emerging technology, right? There's probably an AI tool that's just come out today that's going to completely revolutionize the way the AI world works. So, but I think, if you're a newbie to AI, ChatGPT, MidJourney, Stable Diffusion, Storyboard AI are the things that we're going to be looking at in the near future to be using on future projects and further on this project.
Yeah, the storyboard was very new. These storyboards, we were playing around with these a few days ago, so these are very new. And a few softwares that we did play around didn't work. They were just completely wrong. But storyboard.ai came out really well. DALL-E is really simple to use, but I would just say, you can start with ChatGPT and just force yourself to use ChatGPT almost every day for some small thing, and you'll build and you'll get interested by it, and you'll start using all these different other creative industries, because there's so many, like Luke said, there's a new one coming out every day.
Just to sort of, within my job role as a producer, it's I have to focus on trying to get, it's almost like project management. You're getting all the different departments involved, and however you can make their life easier through AI, that's only going to be really efficient. So it's basically we can touch upon that. So,
Okay. So let's talk about the film industry in general and how tech is perceived within the industry. I know it's been shaken a little bit lately, right, with all the strikes and a lot of controversial stuff. So what film industry has been up to lately, how such cost optimization is perceived by producers, by, big time studios, let's say, as opposed to, smaller studios as you are.
Well, yeah, I think, we just had a big strike with the film industry in terms of talking about
How did it affect you, by the way?
The strike? I'm a bit of a rebel, so the strike for me was like COVID. There was a group of people that just wanted to sit at home and just let COVID pass, and there was a group of people that wanted to set up new businesses and create opportunities. I was definitely on that side. So when the strike happened, I was just thinking, right, what's the opportunity here? Where's the opportunities, rather than the negative of just sitting around waiting. But I think the strike happened at the right time, because if it was left too long, what could have happened is AI could have taken over a lot of stuff, and the studios would have used it to, basically manage and showcase any of their projects. Like, it's very easy for AI to replace background artists. So all the extras you see on films, like that could die in an instant, because it's very easy for AI just to replace all that now, which is people, like the actual, people in costumes and have jobs. And some people are doing it for a living. So I don't know. I think the studios are still going to use it. I think that it's beneficial for people like us because we're a smaller boutique company rather than a big studio. But in terms of the people worrying about it replacing actors and different things like that, I don't think so. There's too much human, you watch a film to be moved, to be smiled, to be entertained.
It's about emotions anyway.
Emotions.
Yes.
And the moment you feel like someone is tricking your emotions, you don't believe in it. You pull yourself out.
You don't trust it,
Pull yourself out of it,
Like in a back, you don't trust it. But, there was the first AI CEO appointed 2 weeks ago. We'll see. There are AI-based like avatar singers. I'm sure there are some actors which are also avatar-based. But then again, it will never replace a true emotion.
Yeah.
Any take on the, overall situation of the film industry and the emerging tech?
Again, I think I would echo what we've all just said on stage. Like, there is a level of, when we're consuming this kind of entertainment, what's really going to be clear to us as we see more of this is things that are artificial, right? It's going to be soulless. It's not going to be human, right? Whereas you go back and you watch movies from 20, 30 years ago, even if it's not exact, it's not perfect, it's human, right? And that's really where the value, and that's where the entertainment and emotion and pureness of any sort of artistic expression is going to come from. So again, I think if anything, AI is going to help smaller creators be able to create better projects. It's going to then be able to really put a shining light on what humans can actually think and create on their own.
Jay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we could just focus more on, at this stage, AI is just so influential with, background shots and images and costume and set design, which is such a powerful tool to use AI. But in terms of using AI to maybe imitate, motion and moving, like an actor, almost imitating an actor's movement, is yet to still be seen, to have that impactful, double on stage. So I think, it's still at the early stages, but it's still going to be, it's here to stay for sure.
We have 5 minutes left. Gordon, you would like to ask? Yes, of course. Yes. Okay.
It's kind of an opinion, which you can take as a question if you want. You've alluded several times to AI is good at the preliminary work, but you need a human for that, what I call the AI last mile, which is maybe taking the ideation of the temple. I think you give an example, then you have to give it to humans or yourself. The twist in terms of a story requires a human still. And I think you just gave an example of that for the final motion of an actor, you still need a human. I believe I think, underestimating just how fast AI is moving and how much faster it's moving compared to how fast it was moving before. I mean, the rate of change is like this. I think we're within low single digit years of that AI last mile shrinking down to AI last inches. And you're going to just maybe have a director maybe at the end. And I think maybe you're a little casual about just how fast it's going. Maybe it's going to help you, but I think this strike is maybe one of the last strikes we're ever going to see because the industry is going to be completely revolutionized and there's nothing anyone can do about it because like everything else, once you have a teenager with access to these tools, what's the difference anymore? So that's my opinion, which you can take as a question.
And Gordon is from LA.
Oh, yeah. I am. My background is entertainment law also. So, and I've been dealing with the strike myself with my LA clients. And, it's like, yay, they settled the strike. Now get off the Titanic. It's like, what are you guys doing? I think we're in the last days. That's just my opinion.
It's so interesting because someone sent me a Harvey.ai the other day, which is lawyers AI.
I'm sorry for that. And that's not a friend.
It's okay. So now there's AI software which can replace your lawyer and put together every contract. I think you're right in the sense of it's moving so fast. But I'm kind of proud in the sense that we're one of the first to be using this. Like I said, I know, deal with a lot of distributors, a lot of creatives all over the world, and they're not using it yet. So the fact that we're using it, we feel like maybe we're not ahead of the game, but we're certainly on the train in that sense.
Just to share an anecdote, because I was involved in this industry for a while, there was a time in Hollywood, even when email was around, no one would email scripts back and forth. They would just messenger them around town, even though everyone had email. Okay, it's just the way that things were done. And then all of a sudden, I remember this because we were working with studios. There was one day when they stopped messengering scripts and they started emailing them. And no one agreed, no one talked about it, no one did anything. There was just a phase shift, and then it started to look stupid to messenger scripts. And just went snap. I just think it's going to happen. It's not going to be incremental change. I think it's going to be like whoomp.
I have a question regarding the time you spent on this project now in terms of if you bring it down to costs in the end. What does a minute of production of this in the end cost in total man hours? In comparison, you could probably know better of the project that would be from an old school manner. How would be the percentual difference?
Do you mean this deck or the actual project?
The actual project. Now, you say you do the film or you do this as a film here for whatever, Indiana Jones type in Cyprus?
This is going to be filmed next year. In terms of, like I said, in terms of the time this took weeks to put together with a couple of people and cost a couple of thousand max. Compared to previous films that I've made, which this kind of stuff has taken months with 30, 40, 50 people, and it's cost us a couple hundred thousand.
Just to echo what Matt has said, it's like a 3-month to 6-month process just to sort of get, when you're in pre-production, you are scouting for these art directors, set designers, and then they've got their team behind them as well. So having to pay man hours, and we're making huge savings to get something from inception to production as quickly as possible, and in front of the distributors. So yeah, it's definitely saving some time and money in that respect. But typically it takes 3 to 6 months, or I'd say about 2 months in pre-production, and then we can speed it through AI. So.